So finally, we have configured our Unity catalog during our previous sessions, and we have created our catalog. Okay, and within catalog we have created our schema. We also check the option of creating table, which is a delta table. Creating delta table, the name of that table was region, if you remember, right? Using options available in our Azure Databricks workspace. Okay, I can show this right away to you. So I can quickly go to homes. I can open my Azure Databricks project workspace. This is the workspace I'm having, ADB PRG, right? I can launch my workspace and I can select, sorry, my mistake. I should select my account. Okay. Now I can see in recents, I would be able to see what all activity we have done. So I'm not going into that. If you go to manage, right, you will be opened with your managed account. And here you can see the catalog is already configured for each TVS2 region. Okay. So as I said, we have successfully created the Unity catalog, right? So how we can see the Unity catalog? We can see the Unity catalog from here. Using manage account, we can check our meta store. Okay, so if you click on this meta store, you can see your Unity catalog is created. Okay, and you have something known as meta store. Meta store is your container, and this container is in this storage account SSACL. So if you go to your you know home storage account SSACL, okay, in that one you can see your container. So this meta store will give you all the informations, right? So because we have loaded a one table only right now, which is known as region table, that's why one entry is available in this meta store, right? So this is only for region table. Okay, so this is the data for the region table. If you want to see the delta log, you can see this. These are the tables. Okay, if you want to check. Okay, anyway, right? So this is the meta store. So all the metadata, if you're loading any number of tables, all the information is getting stored in this metadata. This is managed by Unity Catalog. Okay. Then what you did, then you have created a catalog. So simple option, we have used this catalog. All the steps are already shared to you. This is the catalog you have created, and within this catalog, you have created one schema. If you go inside this schema, you have created a schema which is known as branch. Okay, so in this branch, we have created a table known as region. And how we created this table? This is a delta table. If you clicked on this table, you can see this is a delta table. Okay, and how you created this? Very simple. You can go to data engineering, data ingestion, and you can use this to create a delta table. We can also create delta table using Python with the help of ctas command, ctas. Okay, create table as select. The full form of ctas is create table as select. But right now we are not using that option. Okay, we will see that option later. So finally, we have created a table. So now next thing what we have to do is we have to create so this is the folder which I created as our Databricks part 1. Okay. So in this folder, what we can do, we can quickly create a notebook. And uh, notebook is very important. Okay. So what we can do, we can create a notebook for branch layer, you can say, because we want to read the data. Okay. Branch underscore layer, something like that. Now, if you see your storage account, this is the storage account, right? So we have all the layers we are following the Medallion architecture. So as per Medallion architecture, we had already discussed that bronze layer will be used for ingestion of the data. It means it will contain the raw data. Okay. And silver layer is more where you can implement the transformed data. You can apply the transformation. And layer is basically a business layer. On top of this gold layer, you can create your dashboard. You can use this data for data science. You can use this data for AI ML techniques. So finally, all the data is right now available in the source. Okay. And I'm having these 4 files in the source, right? So now what you should do, okay, you should you should start reading the file. We have to read this file from the source. Okay. So how we can do that? So we will create a uh, we can create, we have already created a notebook. Let me try can say mm, let me use bold, and within bold what we can do, we can use H3. Okay, heading 3, and we can write reading. This is a markdown. You already know all these things, right? Okay. Now what we should do, we have to read the data. So for reading the data, what we can do, we can use this simple read spark dot read. Okay, then we have to give the format. So in which format it is there right now in the source? It is in Parquet format. So we will write this Parquet format. Okay, and I can go to the next line. So first, I'm just trying to make your code, you can remember this code in this way. So when we have to read the data, we can read the data using data frame. So data frame is indicated by df equal to, and we have to read, this is Spark language. Okay. I don't want to accept. Okay. So this is a Spark language. That's why you can put this keyword spark dot read. You have to read the data. But first thing you have to specify is format. So format is a parquet. And next thing what you have to specify, you have to load the data. Okay. If you are reading, you have to load from the location. And what is the location? This is the location, right? You have to go inside this. So it's very simple what you have to do, because you are loading this data from Azure Blob Storage, right? So you have to write abfss. Okay, abfss stands for Azure Blob Storage Services. Okay, then you have to use this colon double forward slash, and you have to specify the container name. Okay, and what is your container name? So container name is source. Okay, and then you have to specify at the rate your storage account. So what is the storage account? Storage account is SSACL, right? So SSACL is your storage account dot dfs dot core dot windows dot net. Okay, and in that what you can do, this this forward slash you have to type, and if you go inside the source, right? Okay. Okay. Now, here's the catch. I have not copied this properly. What we should do, we should add a directory basically, right? We should add a directory for specific column. So let's create the directory like customers. Okay. And one directory I have created for customer. Another directory I have created for orders. I'm just making the directories to make this more professional and optimized way. Okay, then we have regions, and we have products. Okay, products, otherwise it will mess up, right? Products. Okay. Hmm. And what we can do, we don't want these should be in their respective tables. So let me delete whatever we have selected. Okay, now we can go to customer and we can upload the data for customer. I can browse the file simply. It should be in my downloads, I believe so. I have downloaded it from somewhere. So this is customer. So I am going to download, okay, first parking and upload it. So customer is done. Then I can go to orders. Okay, I can upload the data for orders. Browse the file and all are Parquet file because we are dealing with the big data. Okay, so I'm just downloading this orders. Okay, and then I can load for products. Browse. It was products. Okay. Okay. Then I can go for regions. So region table is already uploaded. Okay. Hmm. So regions. Where is regions? Region Parquet file. Okay. Fine. So our data is now ready in our container. You can see we have a something known as source container and we have respective directories, and within that directories we have respective data within the Parquet format. Fine. So we want to, we want to read the data from orders. Imagine this way. So how to do this? So basically after this forward slash, what we will write? We will write this orders. Simple. Okay. So this will automatically read the data. In next line, we want to see the data as well. So we have to write in this manner df.display. Okay. It will allow, it will give you the options, but it's okay. We don't need an option. What we can do? Okay. Before doing that, because I have not created any cluster, I'm going to use a serverless cluster given by them. Okay, and I can simply read the data. So this is simple data read operation. So we can read this data. It is running and it will give you the results. Okay, so you can see the data is there. How many records we have? Uh, we can see we have 9,990 rows. Okay, in this Parquet file. Fine. 10 rows less than 10,000 rows. Okay, so this is a big file. Fine. So this is how we can read the data. If you want to read the data for any other data, how we can read this? This is simple read operation we can do. We will just read for, if you want to read for customer or if you want to read for region, I'm just putting regions. Okay. So I can execute and it will give me the data for region. Right. You can see there are 4 rows which is related to region. If you want to read for customer, what you should do? You just have to change the folder, and that's the reason I make it a sample. Okay, and it will give me the data for, okay, sorry, my mistake. This is customers. Okay, so it will read the data from customer. You can see there are 1990 records for customer. If you want to read the data for products, you can simply read the data for product. So this data part, reading data, is very simple with the help of Python. Okay. And so basically you can learn this code, and the code is very simple. The Spark read. So what it is doing, it is simply reading the data from your Parquet file. If it is CSV, you have to put CSV. Correct? Like this. Anyways, now we should talk about what is Spark streaming. Okay, we have something known as Spark streaming, and that is very, very important. So, topic of the Spark stream. Okay, and we have a concept of auto loader, okay, for Spark streaming.